The idea for this flat was to create different areas where the client could feel cozy, making the spaces look larger and full of storage. When we initially started working on the project, the color was not the main idea. It's not a space where we can put many elements, so it was actually with the color where we found this coziness. So it's not that they came and they say, I want a colorful house, but trying to make the space look like what they're trying to achieve, the color was the solution. We wanted to use Victorian period materials and details, such as the metro green tiles and copper finish of the kitchen counter. By mixing colors with the historical features of the flat, we can create a modern flat while still maintaining its historical past. This flat is located in King's Cross, in central London. King's Cross was originally an industrial hub and has since evolved into one of London's most dynamic neighbourhoods. The building was constructed in 1912 by the Central London Building Company and has become quite an iconic building in the area. The flat is 40 square meters. The owners are young professionals that work nearby. When I first saw the flat, it was old and dark and lacked storage. It's a one bedroom, a separate kitchen and bathroom, and a living room. In terms of the layout, we only changed the floor plan in the bathroom, moving the toilet and the sink to the rear wall to allow for more space and to have the full-size bathtub. The rest of the renovation was more about optimizing storage and functions in each of the rooms.
This episode is brought to you by Odoo. Odoo is an all-in-one management software to start and run your very own business. With Odoo's invoicing app, you can easily create professional invoices and customize them to your liking. All the essential elements of an invoice are prepped just for you. Let's start by using the customer details from our very own database. We can then add products and prices. Odoo automatically calculates the tax rates for you, so you don't have to. When you're finished with the invoice, Odoo lets you send it to your customer all without leaving the app. When it's time to pay, your customer uses their preferred online payment method using Odoo's payment portal. Last but not least, Odoo allows you to track your payments and stay on top of your invoices. Invoicing is easy with Odoo. The first app is free forever with unlimited hosting and support. Start now at odoo.com.
The colors start at the front door, which we repainted in red. The owners had renovated the corridor before we worked on the project. It's a small corridor surrounded by the dado rail on the walls that separates the painting section from the wallpaper. The owners love to cook and entertain, so the kitchen was really important and the first step in our renovations. We worked with them to choose the rich green metro tiles from Solus Ceramics for the splashback and different shades of green paint for the cabinetry and walls. Using the same color broadens the visual perception of the room, making it appear a bit larger than it is. We hid all the appliances behind cabinet doors and added more storage by including wall cabinets and a tall, full-height cabinet at the end of the kitchen. For the countertop, we chose copper for its warmth tones. The copper patinas over time we'll use, which is something the client loves. The kitchen has fluted windows facing the external courtyard. It lets in a lot of light during the day, but maintains privacy without requiring curtains or blinds. There are two large structural columns that split the kitchen into two parts. We left the space behind one of the beams to be used to put items behind. The front with the stove and fridge, and the back with the sink, washing machine and boiler. Under the upper storage cabinet, we added LED lights to illuminate the counter and act as accent lighting in the evenings. For the floors, we decided on black and white floor tiles by Mattonelle Margherita. They introduce a playful, fabric-like pattern. The living room was designed to serve as a comfortable sitting room, an office, and a guest bedroom. We wanted to keep a chest of drawers which were cherry in color, so we chose red in the living room to match these drawers. We added fiberboard shelves just below the ceiling and painted them in the same red as the ceiling and trim. They give a perception of height and seem to dissolve when viewed from certain angles. The custom sofa is red to match the walls. It's a generous-sized sofa that doubles as a guest bed, while the white provides a neutral setting for the art that they've collected during their travels. We decided to keep the original fireplace in the corner of the living room and painted it in red to blend in with the rest of the apartment. The main light in the room is one from La Redoute. It has these rattan pieces that create a mobile and looks like an art piece. The idea of having wall lights is to have secondary lighting that is more cozy than the ceiling light. They are plugged into a socket, no need for an electrician. The owners were using the camping table as their coffee table. When it came time to choose a new table, they wanted something that could still retain the flexibility. The new table can be opened and made bigger, turning into a dining table that can seat up to 6 people. The height adjustment is great for having dinners in front of the TV. We all do it, so it must well be comfortable. An L-shaped bench creates seating for visitors while providing storage for the record collections below. It also conceals the room's radiator. When using the extendable coffee table, the bench area transforms into a dining nook in the evenings. We custom-built shelving on the corner of the living room for drinks and glasses. There is a drink cart that can easily be moved around the room. Next to the door of the living room, we added a desk. Fixing the desk to the wall means it didn't take up valuable floor space, so items can be stored underneath and comfortable desk chair can be used. The top of the desk was also tapered inward to allow for easier movement around the space. The bedroom was the last place we worked on. Our aim was to create as much storage as we could. Everything had to be functional and help with the storage problem we had. It originally had some wall shelves and wardrobe by the door, which we extended all the way up to the ceiling and added another wardrobe on the adjacent wall. We added paneling with wallpaper from Romo to the wardrobes, walls and ceiling to give the impression of having windows with the nature behind them. The new queen-size bed from Piccolin also has a storage space underneath for seasonal items. Just like in the living room, we added a high shelf around the room for extra storage. The custom bedside tables are attached to the walls. They are curved and angled around the corners of the room to maximize the available space. We used the same method to create a new dressing table by the entrance. It was something we added later on in the design process, but turned out to be handy space to get ready in the mornings or as a temporary desk when both are working from home. In the bathroom, the focus was on maximizing light and storage. We changed the layout to make more space around the toilet and sink. This gave us room to add a larger storage unit on the 3 walls, which provides a lot of storage while reflecting the space to make the room feel bigger. There was an old fireplace in the bathroom, which now serves as extra storage. A bathtub was one of the non-negotiables the owners had in the brief. We found a narrow model that doesn't block the entrance. The yellow tiles are handmade in Morocco, and the glossy texture serves as a reflection. Grey concrete tiles were chosen for the rest of the walls. The owners install a translucent yellow curtain. Being able to see through the curtain helps to keep the space feeling open. Above the sink, we added a wire shelf for extra linen. When I work on a project, I believe every part of the house and every object that is there, it has to meet a function. We usually design a large part of the pieces in our interior design project to measure. My approach begins with planning the layout before focusing on the style or decoration. This ensures the rooms flows well, makes the most storage, and creates distinct zones for different experiences.
Thanks for watching. If you're an architect or designer with a project we could feature, please share it with us at nevertoosmall.com/submissions.